Hello everyone, and welcome to Torch and Key Divine Messages. I am Morgan, your Divine Messenger, and I'm going to continue on the discussion of intention setting. In the first video, I discuss a little bit on maybe why you're being held back from manifesting your biggest desires. And I mentioned that in the next videos, I would be discussing how your words can affect that, and I will also maybe touch on it here or maybe do a whole nother video to talk about how to discern what you truly desire versus what other people made you think you desire. So as for words, I believe obviously that words are spells in themselves. However, it is not the word itself that is the spell. It is the meaning and the energy and the emotionality and the psychology and the cultural significance and the psychological significance that you put behind the word you are using. The word itself is not in a vacuum. It's not just an apple. It is the apples that fell from the tree that is in your grandmother's backyard, and you eat them and they taste so sweet, right? It is not the apple you got from the grocery store. It is the apple that was sitting on your sister's desk when you discussed a very important matter. There's just a lot of context that goes behind words that we deem simple, and we really have to interrogate ourselves, our identities, and how we feel about these words. Maybe somebody says God, but other people say the universe, or somebody else yet again says my highest self, or goddess, or a specific energy like Aphrodite or Kalima. There's a lot of different things that mean the same things to different people and have different names, and there's words that mean different things depending on who's saying them. And I think this really needs to be taken into consideration if you are going to be casting a spell asking for something you desire, particularly when it comes to your greatest desires. There is an energetic weight to your word. Think of like when you're talking to a baby or your puppy or your kitten, how you could literally say like, "Oh, you're such a little annoying brat, but I love you." And all they hear is the tone of your voice. And even though you're saying that you're annoyed with them, you're still filled with so much love and like, oh, they're so cute, right? So they feel that energy of love, even if you are mildly insulting them or calling them out for misbehavior. But you have to think of the universe in a way as kind of like being a dog or a cat or a baby that doesn't really care about the word's traditional meaning. They care about your meaning and your intent behind the word. Now, that's not to say that the word itself isn't a spell in itself, like I said, because it will have the same vibration as the thing that you are asking for. But you have to think of it as like the energy that you are feeling as you say the word. You're kind of asking for both at the same time. And so if one is blocking out the other, then no matter how much you ask for the one that you want, the other is going to go, nope, not happening. So let's say you are asking for a mansion, but you secretly believe that that's not possible, maybe that you're not even worthy of a mansion, or you can't see how it could possibly happen, or how you could make it happen, but you're asking the universe for it. and yet you keep thinking that it's all you and you're the only one who's supposed to know the bigger picture of you attaining this mansion, right? That energy you have of it being impossible, or of you believing you don't deserve it, or that whatever it is, maybe even self-sabotage, like, because I don't think it's necessarily the feeling of unworthiness that blocks us. I believe it's the feeling of unworthiness that leads to the actions we take that block us, because we then will subconsciously subvert ourselves from getting what we want. If you believe you're a bad person and you're looking for love, you will constantly sabotage yourself from having it, because the moment a good person comes along, you're like, oh, well, I don't deserve them, so I'm going to ruin this. Or if you believe that you're not smart enough to have a job, you may constantly make mistakes. Someone who really talks about this a lot and in detail and in amazing clarity is Africa Brooke. She's mainly on Instagram, so I will link her profile down below, and she has a coaching service as well if you guys need extra help on that. But when it comes to your words and the energy you have behind them, you need to make sure that they are in alignment with each other. And that sometimes does mean that you have to dig deep and ask yourself, am I contributing, even energetically, towards this thing failing? And like I said, I don't think it's necessarily believing you don't deserve things. I think it is that belief that leads to holding you back, or a fear of failure, so you never try, right? So I like to give the example because it's my own personal experience that if you are trying to become a published author, so you ask the universe for becoming a published author, but you never write the book, the universe can only do so much, right? You have to actually do some of the work, and that is where you can end up holding yourself back from your greatest manifestations. If you want to become a famous actress, yeah, of course, I guess you could be scouted, but even when you get scouted, you have to go to the audition, right? You can be a great painter, but if you never actually sell any of your paintings because you think they're all shit, like, do you see how this is going? So your energy and your beliefs, which kind of mirror your energy about the things that you're asking for, can contribute to you not getting what you're asking for. And then there's also the words you're using. So let's say you are in alignment with, you know this is going to happen, like you just feel it in your bones. But society has taught us not to be cocky and not to be unrealistic and not to be ran by our gut feelings. Like, it really wants us to always have physical proof that something is going to happen, which really can counteract spell work when you're constantly trying to find physical, tangible proof that your manifestation is going to come through. And this has honestly been my biggest struggle, because I came into the spiritual world from a very skeptical stance. I was never one of those people who always had, like, or it's not that I didn't have my intuition working for me, it's just that I definitely would ignore it in favor for logic. Like things I can point at, things I could touch, tangible proof. And so most people, you know, they have like a spiritual awakening. Well, mine was definitely like, wake up! Sorry if that clap was really loud. But others, maybe they have been technically spiritually awake all of their life, and, you know, their struggle has just been with other things. But when you go into manifestation and you come in thinking, okay, but how could all of this actually be possible? Like, I could see myself aligning with having a really good parking spot, or getting my favorite dress that I've been staring at for a while is finally on sale because I tried to manifest it for a price that I could afford, right? Like, those are kind of the easy spells that people start off with. But especially if you're surrounded by people that kind of judge you for your beliefs or maybe don't align with them, so they don't quite understand how you could possibly make these giant leaps of faith, you may end up accidentally holding yourself back with your words and your actions, because to other people they might be deemed as irresponsible or crazy or too idealistic or too optimistic. And you have to just believe that these things are going to happen and that you are going to make them happen. And that can be really hard. So you end up lying to them, but in turn, your words are also then lying to the universe. So let's say, like I said, you're manifesting becoming a published author, and you know you're going to be a bestseller. You just feel it in your gut. You asked for it. You've been doing the work. And you tell your mother or your father that you're quitting your job because you are going to become a best-selling author, and so you don't need it, and you actually need way more time to focus on your writing, so that, you know, which is true, you probably do, especially if that's what you're manifesting. And maybe you have a lot saved up, you know, and so it's just like, and that amount will lead right up to the timing of you getting this book on shelves and selling, right? But to a logical person, they're like, that's not a guarantee. Like, are you sure? Like, it's not that you're, you know, not a good writer or that you haven't worked hard. It's just that, like, the world has us believe that when you have a dream or a vision, the chance of failure is always much greater than the chance of success. I don't believe this. Honestly, I think that sometimes we are given dreams and visions, our truest dreams, which is what I will get into in the next video. I believe we're given our truest dreams and visions for a reason, and that maybe we walk on the wrong path. There's no such thing as wrong. There's only such thing as lessons. But I lost my train of thought because I'm so passionate about that. But there is always going to be people who tell you that you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. So then you start saying things like, well, you know, we'll see, or I'll just stay in this job until that happens, even though you know it's going to happen, but your actions are now saying otherwise because you are aligning them with other people's beliefs of life. And so you have to not just match your words to your energy, but you have to not just match your energy to your words, but your words to your energy. So if you are actually confident in what you are going to do, you don't have to tell them, but you have to embody that truth. You have to be the person that is the person you want to become, but already before the manifestation shows up. You have to think, if I was a best-selling author and this was guaranteed, what would I do? If this person is my soulmate, how would I treat them? If I was meant to move to this other country, I should probably start learning the language of that country and learn their laws and start studying like their, traffic signs or something. You know, you have to prepare for success just as much as you have to prepare for failure in life. And I think our society has taught us so much how to prepare for failure that we don't prepare for success, and that will sabotage you. So you have to make sure that your words and your energy are in alignment, or else one or the other is going to rob you of what you're trying to get. So I hope this helped. And in the third one, I will talk more about identity work and how that can help you in the long run as well.